Hi, my name is Rafiq Martin. I am currently enrolled in the PhD in psychology program at Meridian. I've already completed 3 years at Meridian so far. This will be my fourth.
Have you started the official dissertation process?
Not officially. I'm about to start in this quarter coming up. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, how are you feeling about starting that?
A little bit anxious and very excited. I'm doing a topic that is really, personally important to me. So I'm really looking forward to delving into the research and seeing what I'll find from it.
If you think back to when you originally applied to Meridian, what drew you to the PhD program here specifically?
I think what about Meridian really is the way it separates itself from the traditional programs. I've always found the more traditional programs difficult, and the traditional program is all I've ever known prior to Meridian. So as I was searching, when I found out more about transformative learning, and I found out that that is pretty much the focus of Meridian's approach, that blossomed my interest and made me want to find out more about what transformative learning was, and it was pretty much the best decision I could have made for myself at the time.
That is so great to hear. And for those who may be not as familiar with it, how would you explain transformative learning in your own words?
In my own words, transformative learning is shifting from just absorbing knowledge or information and actually embodying it in your daily life. So a lot of the readings and discussions that I've been able to engage in during my time at Meridian has allowed me to really reflect on my own experience and transform the way I look at things. So I look at things in a different lens than I did prior to my enrollment at Meridian.
That is amazing. And in a field like this specifically, why do you think that it's so important to do that type of work?
I think it's really important because if our aim is to help others, then it's really important that we have a good understanding of ourselves. And I don't think any of us are perfect. We're all flawed individuals. We all have our own traumas, our own, stories. And it's important for us to understand those stories, understand where the limits of our learning are, the boundaries, and where we need to push beyond those boundaries so that we can be the best version of ourselves for ourselves and also for our clients.
And for you, when it came down to the PsyD or the PhD, what drove you in the PhD direction?
Well, to be honest, when I started on the PsyD track because I was a little bit afraid of the research. I love research, but I was afraid of the rigor as well as the work commitments and the life commitments. Also, I wanted to have a more hands-on in terms of a clinical approach, so that I could have had a little bit more experience because I don't have a clinical background. However, as I went along my own journey, I realized how important research was for me and for my future profession. So it's important for me to be able to expand the knowledge available and do a lot of work to, enhance policy making decisions and things like that. So I realized the importance of research, and that helped to fuel my transition into the PhD program.
And so for someone like you who maybe was on the fence at first, what would you say to them now that you've officially done that transition? Do you feel that research piece you feel prepared for, or that you have the support you're going to need when it comes time to start your dissertation clock?
Yes, definitely. I feel fully prepared. I'm ready to take it on. As I said, I'm excited, but a little bit anxious, to be honest, because, it's a really important part of the journey. So I really want to put my best foot forward. So there's a lot of pressure on myself, from myself,
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to beginning.
As a fourth-year student, what has your experience been like so far with other students and program faculty?
So far, I can say that the other people I've been able to interact with at Meridian have been the most rewarding part of the process at Meridian. I look forward to the TCOPs especially. I love meeting other classmates or other people that are on similar journeys as I am. We come from different backgrounds, whether it's culture, or community backgrounds. And it's really interesting to see how our different lives and different roads we've taken have all led us to Meridian. And it's really interesting to see where we'll go after Meridian. So I'm really looking forward to see how the relationships will develop further. And I've met some really interesting people, some really cool people along the way. And I'm really thankful to them because they've really helped me to develop myself, and they've been a part of my development. So I'm really appreciative.
And you mentioned TCOPs. For those who aren't familiar with that term, what does that mean and what are they at Meridian?
Okay, so a TCOP is a transformative community of practice, and it's usually created within the classes. So while a class is a more bigger and structured, a TCOP is a smaller, more intimate kind of setting where you discuss various topics and your own experiences on these topics.
And are you attending the classes in real time or are you watching those recordings?
I do both. So when my schedule allows me to attend in real time, I do that because I find it really valuable, that interaction. However, I'm a police officer, so it's not always feasible. So I'm really appreciative of the recordings and being able to review what I would have missed.
Yeah, that flexibility, it sounds like, really works with your schedule. And for you as a police officer outside of school, how has it been managing the workload? Are you taking 2 courses per quarter?
Yes, I'm taking 2 courses per quarter. It has its challenges, but I have been pretty much on the grind. I've been used to it. So for the past few years, this has been my life, school and work, and navigating school and work and family life and all the other dynamics that come about. So I've pretty much been in this flow for a while, so I'm pretty much used to it.
So you kind of find your groove at a certain point. Okay, very cool. And what are your professional plans after you graduate? Are you pursuing licensure? What do you hope to do?
So initially my goal was to pursue licensure. However, the climate of psychology underground here is very unique. So licensure isn't, I would say, important for me at this stage. So right now my focus is on completing my degree, and thereafter the plan is to go into research, and I really want to focus on creating policy that will change the landscape of psychology and the way we look at mental health in general in Antigua. And that's part of the whole transformative journey. It's about that self-reflection and finding your own way.
Absolutely. And for you, what's your favorite thing about being a student at Meridian?
My favorite thing, as I said, is interacting with the faculty and the other students. It is really enriching to learn from other people's experiences. I have only my own story, and that's a limited experience in the world. So being able to access so many different stories, it adds so much value to the learning environment. And it's such a safe space that I feel comfortable sharing my own experience because I feel like there's value in my story as well.
If you were speaking to someone who was on the fence about Meridian and just wanted to hear in a couple of sentences what you have to say to them, what would you share?
If transformative learning is important to you, or self-development, whether it's professional or personal, then Meridian is definitely the place for you. It is an institution that encourages deep self-reflection, and it challenges you to question, existing systems of whether it's privilege or oppression. And I feel like it equips you with the tools to foster, that same safe space where healing and change can happen as a therapist.
Overall, anything else to add about your experience at Meridian that you feel is important or that stands out for you?
One thing I would like to say is I love the faculty, especially. The faculty has a very, or I would say from my past experiences in traditional settings, there's often a disconnect between faculty and students, and I don't have that disconnect. I feel relatable. I feel the faculty is very relatable, and I also feel that they are approachable. I feel like they're knowledgeable, and they're also open and willing to share their experiences and be a part of our own journey. So that's a really amazing thing to have.